Hello, hello. It is currently Saturday afternoon, and this week is been a pretty interesting one. So let's get right into the ramble. The first thing I want to talk about this week was fantasy EHP. It's probably I guess probably the most significant thing I've done this week because of how many hours I've just played for fantasy. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm on the Turkish Khan Devils, and this was my first week starting. I got drafted like right before last week, but I didn't play because I was starting my job and I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to put in good hours. I definitely should have started anyway, just based on like how many hours I actually did put in, but um, that's not important. What matters is this week I went really hard as fuck. Like I, since I have a full-time job, the only way I can really go hard and be competitive is by sleeping a lot less. So I slept about 4.5 hours on average every day for this week, and that has been insanely rough on me. At first, it wasn't too bad. Like I felt tired, but I felt like I could push through, and it wasn't too hard. And then on Friday, I felt like, whew, I could feel myself just at 10 a.m. I felt like I was wondering if I'd had the energy to complete the day. Like I was at that point mentally, but it ended up working well. I just sat down and got to grinding when I came home. Watched some movies with some friends, which was fun. Uh, and yeah, just try to keep myself motivated. And I'm trying to finish off the week strong. I got 7 hours of sleep last night, which was not the 4.5 hours that I've been doing, but I feel really good now that I've slept more. So I'm gonna finish off strong. But yeah, we are fighting the Glories gang this week. Um, they're in a pretty bad spot right now. They don't have RJ Horn. They don't have, well, they have Blake, but he's kind of burnt right now, and everyone else is just not doing insane hours. So we are 100 pointing them correctly. Sorry, I can't talk for some reason. We are 100 pointing them currently. That's pretty fun. That's kind of why I was so motivated this weekend, because I felt like we could actually do that. I think my my hours combined with like the fact that I work full time has motivated one or two people on the team, which is good to see. Because I think I have currently more hours than the needs on my team. I'm not sure how many needs we have actually. I think maybe one or two. But yeah, there hasn't been a ton of motivation on the Devils, I'll be honest. Uh, Lots of stuff like I'm burnt, or I want to do knights, or I want to do red shins and train the alt. There's been that going around the locker room, but hopefully, people put in a good last couple of hours before the comp ends this week. Yeah, I was basically fantasy this week. I just played a lot, got a lot of EHP, got a lot of Hunter XP. Let's look at this email. Let's see how much I actually got. Alright, so I'm currently on an 85 week. Week's not over yet. This is just what's on CML. So tomorrow it'll probably be, I want to say closer to 90, maybe 90 plus. That'll be pretty insane. But, especially because my peak week ever as a NEET was 92. So I'm definitely going pretty hard if that happens. Um, as for the XP per, like different skills, I have 3.1 mil strength XP, which is about 20 EHP. If you value phone zone at 0.5 HP an hour, that's like 40 hours, so that's pretty reasonable considering that's how much I work a week. Crafting was 1.1 mil, and the reason I have crafting on my week is because last week before fantasy started, I was trying to get 84 crafting for Black D'Hide because I want to do some Black D'Hide while it's still cheap. I didn't make it to 84 crafting, so I couldn't do crafting at all this week because I can't do pre-99 stuff for fantasy. The EHP only scales for 99 raids, which is also, by the way, why I'm not fishing, because I have 88 fishing. I'd be getting really bad EHP an hour. Yeah, this week I've just mainly done Hunter and Agi. Well, along with Phone Zone, but Phone Zone is just a thing that happens when I'm at work. As for Agi, I've done about 1 mil this week. which is about almost 15 hours. Pretty reasonable considering I try to do not that much agi. I try to mainly do it whenever I'm eating or I'm about to go to sleep, something like that. I was doing it last night because I'd been staying up like the most I'd ever stayed up this week. It was about 3 a.m. and I'd gone to bed like maybe 1:30, maybe 2 a.m. the other nights, and all the sleep deprivation was starting to stack up, and I was feeling incredibly bad. But yeah, I ended up going to sleep around 3 a.m. and I slept 7 hours, which is really good, honestly. I feel so much better now that I've slept 7 hours instead of like 4.5. But yeah, I did do some agi towards the end. I think for like 20 minutes because I actually could not do chins. I was so tired and I was doing chins so badly that I just decided to do arty. Even then with arty, I was not doing very well. I was like I would close my eyelids to blink. I would close my eyelids to blink, and I would just I don't know close them for a couple seconds at a time. Just sort of stand there on the course, not doing anything. But yeah, I managed to make it through, and like I said, I feel a lot better now. So on to the actual like good XP this week. I have 10.2 mil hunter, which is absolutely insane for me. Like my peak week as a non-neat for hunter was probably 7 mil, which happened like just last week because I was going pretty hard, sleeping like 6 hours a night. But now that I'm in fantasy, I slept 4.5, as I said, and yeah, that resulted in a 10 mil plus hunter week. I'm pretty happy about that. I love seeing account progress on the CML more than anything. To me, I don't really care much about phone zone, but it's a nice little padding to the week. But yeah, account progress is always good. Don't do PC zone, people. Don't ruin your account. Don't waste your time just for a comp. Do one-on-one EHP and actual methods, okay? There we go. I just wanted to say that. I know there have been quite a few PC zoners during fantasy this week or this year. So yeah, that's it for the week. I'll probably hit like 90 HP week. Like I said, I think I said that. I don't even remember at this point. But I'll probably hit 90 by the time Sunday rolls around, and I might hit 11 mil or maybe even more Hunter XP this week in total. And after that, I'm just gonna go back to consistent well, after fantasy, I mean, I'm gonna go back to like consistent 7 mil Hunter weeks, maybe 6 or 7 hours of sleep a night. I think that'll be probably the best for me. And at that rate, I'll finish Hunter in like less than 10 weeks, which is pretty awesome. It means I'm gonna finish Hunter before my job actually finishes, because I also have around 10 weeks left on my job, since it's a summer internship. But yeah, I think I've talked a lot about fantasy HP in my week currently, so let's move on. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to say. And that was my Hunter 6 hour. So this is my first time doing a 6 hour ever. I was doing it because of fantasy, and at fantasy, with fantasy HP, you do a 6 hour to start off the week. Just because you do it like right at the time the competition starts. So I did that. I did a 6 hour and it turned out really, really well. Like I'm really happy with how it turned out because I did black chins for the entire 6 hour. I got interrupted like 3 times. My alt died each time, and I was also AGS to Gmauled one time, but I didn't leave. It was just really annoying. I got attacked a bunch, but even so, I got the rank 4 Hunter 6 hour in the game. Technically rank 3, since rank 1 is, I've been told by many people, fake. So yeah, there's that. And honestly, I feel like if I really went for it, I could do rank 1. I was clicking pretty badly during the 6 hours, a little bit nervous. I made some mistakes, and obviously, of course, my alt died and stuff. If I had like another alt ready to go, I could have gotten even higher rates and stuff. Definitely a ton to improve on with the 6 hour, but I'm not sure if I want to do another 6 hour. I'm not really a 6 hour kind of person. I'll do another 6 hour for week 9 of fantasy when we go against the Jostlers, because I'll be playing that week. But other than that, like, I don't think I'm gonna do that much. I've never been really a records kind of person. I might do it for like fishing, but I'd probably never do anything more than a 6 hour for hunter. Like, first of all, I don't have the time for the week record or month record. I don't have enough XP actually for the month record anyway. And for the 30 hour, I don't think 30 hours are very fun, especially not with hunter. Just way too much RNG involved with PKers. 6 hours is pretty RNG as well, but at least it's a lot shorter, so you can get lucky a lot easier. But yeah, I had a lot of fun when I was going for it, and after I finished and I saw that I gained 7 EHP in 6 hours, I felt really good. And yeah, rank 4 is, well, technically rank 3. 6 hour hunter is pretty fun. I'm sure it'll get beaten because it's not really that good of a 6 hour. It did beat quite a few people, but I don't know like what their situation is with how they did the 6 hour, how many times they got attacked. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say about that. So the other thing that I wanted to save was what I did on Sunday last week, which was the Black Chins podcast. So this was with Danis, Sean Bay, Constellar, and Seth, the Flow Taxes. We all got together and talked about the meta for Black Chins equipment. This is basically just going over every equipment slot and discussing what the best item to take there is. And there are a lot of different, there's a couple of places where it's varied, depends on what you prefer. It also depends on how much money you want to sink into your setup. Somehow, like some people just want to do like slightly less risk, or they want to do slightly less money investment if they're going to be skill hopping a lot. But this is pretty much the meta setup. The cape you can swap out for like con cape or fire cape, but Agit cape is not a bad one because you get an extra free event spot because you don't need to bring a stamina potion. Con cape is good because you can tell to your house, pool up, and then get back to chains with an obelisk or mounted under cape. Fire cape is just good because it's better defenses than steel capes. But yeah, we just talked about stuff like that, and if you want to go watch that, I'll leave a link in the description. And we're probably going to do another podcast at some point about tanking. So if you're interested, just look out for that. There'll definitely be a tweet and stuff, and I'll definitely comment on it if it ever happens. But yeah, I had a lot of fun being on that. Never done a podcast before. I think it went really well. So I can't even remember what I've talked about already this video, but I don't think I've said this. Next week next week the Devils are playing RPR, and obviously we have no chance of beating RPR. I don't want to say we're a bad team, but I definitely say we don't have a lot of people who can put up like insane hours. I for one am like, I don't want to do like another week of 4.5 hours sleep back to back. I just want to, besides that, like I have some stuff that I want to do on my account that is not going to be very EHP efficient, but I really want to get done. So I'm just going to kick back next week, rest up, and then the week after, week 9, is when we go against the Jostlers, and I want to say we're going to go hard against the Jostlers because I think we have a shot at beating them. It's definitely going to be very fun. I think it'll be close. We'll see what kind of hours they can put up, and what kind of hours we can put up. But yeah, I'm going to save my energy for that week. So next week I'm probably just going to do 99 magic, maybe 90 or 99 con, and then Wildy hard diaries. Those are the 3 main things that I want to get done. Wildy diaries for the obelisk teleportation, because if you have that, also I'm failing a lot. There's Monty. If you have the Wildy hard diary done, you can go up to any obelisk and pick exactly where you want to teleport to, and there's an obelisk right next to Chins, so what you can do if you have the obelisk in your house, you can just teleport to your house with the concave, pull up, and then go to your obelisk, and then instantly get back to Chins, which is very, very cool. I think my priority is going to be, at least for capes, Hunter Cape, Agi Cape until I use the boost, or maybe not. I'll have to decide if Concape is more convenient, and then Concape, obviously. Those are the 3 capes that I think I would wear. The only upside to Agility Cape is saving an invent slot for not needing a brew. But yeah, that's a pretty fun meta to discuss. What I am wearing right now is pretty much the best setup you can bring. There's like one or two things maybe you could bring a little bit better. Like I said, the fire cape would be technically better, that wise. I guess you could risk like a lot more, but it's not really worth it. So this is probably just the meta setup. Ellie is super good. Don't need to bring a bulwark swap if you have that. The Ring of Suffering helps with the magic defense, so it's pretty much like the same as if you just brought a spectral. And obviously like 14, 15 brews in invent is insane. It's so good. I think you're gonna have a really hard time dying if you don't make mistakes and just focus. Also, I'm not doing very well at chins right now because I've said this before, I get really distracted whenever I record commentaries. But I wanted to do some Hunter right now, so here I am. Alright, so I think that's all I wanted to touch on for this week. I'll be making another ramble video next week, of course, and I guess I'll see you guys then.